Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Abdul. I am going to talk about the country's background and key information of Vietnam. Firstly, Vietnam is a country located in Southeast Asia. It has a population of over 32 million people and is a multiracial and multicultural society comprising Vietnam, Chinese, and Indian communities. English is an official language. Vietnam has a strong economy with a GDP of 340.8 billion around, and it is marked as the 36th largest economy in the world. The country's main industries include electronics, automotive, and palm oil, and it is a major exporter of natural resources. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Abdul. I am going to talk about the country's background and key information of Vietnam. Firstly, Vietnam is a country located in Southeast Asia. It has a population of over 32 million people and is a multiracial and multicultural society comprising Vietnam, Chinese, and Indian communities. English is an official language. Vietnam has a strong economy with a GDP of 340.8 billion around, and it is marked as the 36th largest economy in the world. The country's main industries include electronics, automotive, and palm oil, and it is a major exporter of natural resources.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Oumar Sylla. So I'm at take number 1834129. So I'll be talking about the cross-cultural factors that result in a cross-cultural risk in Vietnam. So there are several cross-cultural factors that can result in cross-cultural risk when conducting business in Vietnam. So some of these include communication. Vietnam is collectivist culture where indirect communication is common. In contrast, many Western cultures tend to be more direct in their communication. This can lead to confusion and misunderstanding if not handled properly. Hierarchy. So Vietnam is a hierarchical society and showing respect to elders and those in positions of authority is very important. Failure to do so can be viewed as disrespectful and can damage relationship with the investors, right? So the relationship in Vietnam is considered as building personal relationship is crucial in Vietnam, and business is often conducted on personal level, and trust is gained through building a relationship over time. And moving on, Vietnam operates on a more relaxed sense of time and deadlines, and punctuality may not be taken as seriously as in some Western culture. So when it's come to the decision making in Vietnam, which is often done through consensus, and the group dynamic can play a strong role in the decision making process. So the business culture in Vietnam has negotiation, and contracts can be very different from what some Westerners are used to. It's important for companies to be aware of these cultural differences and to take steps to mitigate any potential risk. This may include cultural training for employees, hiring local staff, or working with local partners who can help navigate the cultural landscape.
There are some factors that can contribute to country risk when Simplicity wants to sell their products in Vietnam. The first one is economic stability. Economic stability refers to the stability of a country's economy or its ability to maintain a consistent level of economic growth and development. Factors that can contribute to economy stability include low levels of inflation, a stable currency, and a healthy balance of trade. In Vietnam, the economy has experienced strong growth in recent years, with an average annual GDP growth rate of around 6.5% over the past decade. However, Vietnam is still considered a developing country, and there are risks associated with doing business in a developing economy. These risks include the potential for currency fluctuations, inflation, and economic instability. To mitigate this risk, it is important to keep track of economic indicators such as GDP growth, inflation rates, and exchange rates, and to have a plan in place to deal with potential economic challenges. It is also important to work with reputable partners and to diversify their business operation to reduce the exposure to economic risk. The second one is political stability. It refers to the degree of stability and predictability within a country's political system. A stable political environment is generally conducive to business as it allows companies to plan and operate with a certain level of certainty. Conversely, political instability can create risk for businesses as it can lead to changes in government policies, disruptions to business operations, and a general sense of uncertainty. Vietnam is a one-party communist state, and while the government is generally stable, there are some risks associated with operating in a country with a lack of political pluralism. It is important to be aware of these risks and to stay up to date on political developments in the country. It is also a good idea to work with reputable partners and to establish relationships with government officials to help mitigate any potential political risk. The next one is legal environment. It is the laws and regulations that govern business operations in a particular country. A favorable legal environment is generally conducive to business as it provides clarity and predictability, while a complex or uncertain legal environment can create risk for businesses. In Vietnam, the legal environment can be complex and there are many regulations that must be followed in order to sell cosmetics in the country. For example, cosmetics must be registered with the Vietnam Food and Drug Administration or VFDA before they can be imported or sold in the market. Companies must also adhere to labeling and packaging requirements and must ensure that their products meet certain safety and quality standards. To mitigate legal risks in Vietnam, it is very important to seek legal guidance and ensure that your company is in compliance with all relevant laws and regulations. It is also a good idea to establish relationships with government officials and to work with reputable partners who can help navigate the legal landscape.
Moving on to the next part, which is currency and financial issue that lead to the currency and financial risk. What is currency risk? Currency risk is the possible of losing money due to the unfavorable move in exchange rates. How does currency risk in Vietnam will affect Simplicity? Based on this data, we can see that the Vietnam dong currency is gradually increased in 9 years, which is from 2014 until 2022. It shows that the purchasing power as well as standard of living are increasing among Vietnamese. In 2022, 1 Malaysian ringgit is equal to Vietnam dong 5,360, and the average price of the Simplicity product is 180 ringgit, which is equal to 568,880.20. Based on those two data, it shows that Simplicity has a good opportunity to penetrate cosmetic market in Vietnam because the purchasing power of Vietnamese are increased and the average cosmetic price are in range 400,000 up to 1,500,000 Vietnam dong. What is financial risk? Financial risk is the possible of losing money on an investment or business venture. Financial risk is a type of danger that can result in the loss of capital to interested parties. How does financial risk will affect simplicity? In this case, we will focus on Vietnam's economic status and law changes. Based on this data, it shows the decreasing inflation rate pattern from 2020 to 2022. In 2020, the financial rate is 6.43%. Meanwhile, in 2022, the inflation rate is 4.55%. Next is law changes. In 1st January of 2022, a new Vietnamese e-commerce regulation known as Decree 85 was implemented. The important rules that are written in Decree 85, which is simplicity must obey any of the following rules, which are the website must display in Vietnamese language, the website must under Vietnamese domain names, or the website need more than 100,000 sales transactions annually from Vietnam. Simplicity must hire computer program Vietnamese or Malaysian that fluent with Vietnam language in order to coordinate Simplicity's official website in Vietnamese language.
I'm Sharifah Athirah. So what are the commercial issues that Vietnam has that could affect Simplicity to experience commercial risk? Commercial risk is the potential losses arising from trading partners or the market. It is important that companies need to assess whether the trading partners are reliable and has the potential instability and reluctancy to pay. Let's take a look at the first commercial issue found in Vietnam, which is corruption. Corruption demonstrates a poor professionalism and control which will affect companies in the long run. As seen here, Vietnam scores the CPI with 39/100, which indicates to nearly high corrupted country. So, will it give impact towards companies, specifically Simplicity? Yes, it sure will. It will slow down business development, discouraging existing stakeholders to invest, and mess up the brand or company's reputation. Second issue that can be found is poor protection of intellectual property, such as patents, trade secrets, copyright, trademark, which is crucial for business company to take care of. Online piracy is common in this country. It has some of the most egregious piracy sites and services in the entire world, and unfortunately, no apparent or practical way to stop it from happening. It is said that the enforcement of protection is terrible, hence illegal content can easily be accessed via online and mobile network. In addition, Vietnam is ranked in the top 20 countries of using software piracy up until February 2022. This is not good for any business, especially newly built ones. Why? It could cause the company to experience financial and reputational damage, affecting customers to lose trust, sales and business growth of the company may become bad and worse, and also they will lose competitive advantage.
Should Simplicity enter the country? In our opinion, the answer is no. Why? Based on all the explanation regarding the risk that Simplicity might be getting into, those are the reasons why our answer is no. Although the financial risk of entering Vietnam is somehow positive, the other risks remain negative, which will expose Simplicity brand to danger. It is best if Simplicity can stay away or choose another country to enlarge their business. Its large population cannot promise that the product of Simplicity will be sustainable in the market of Vietnam, as the other risks might interfere and causing customers to move away from the brand.